For 14 straight quarters, Alberta has led every province in Canada for interprovincial migration. No other province even comes close. While Ontario lost over 119,000 residents in 2025, and BC lost over 40,000, Alberta kept growing. People are coming from Toronto, from Vancouver, from Winnipeg and Montreal. And they're not just landing in Calgary and Edmonton anymore. They're spreading out into smaller cities, bedroom communities, and towns most Canadians have never heard of. Here are 10 Alberta cities everyone is moving to right now, starting with the ones gaining quietly and ending with the one pulling the most people in the country. Number 10. Fort Saskatchewan. Fort Saskatchewan is about 30 minutes northeast of Edmonton. Population just over 28,000. It's not glamorous, but it's increasingly showing up in buyer search data heading into 2026. The appeal is straightforward. Lower home prices than Edmonton. A stable local economy tied to petrochemical processing. And enough infrastructure, schools, shops, transit connections to make daily life work without a long commute. For families leaving Ontario or BC who want space and stability without paying Edmonton prices, Fort Saskatchewan is landing on more shortlists than you'd expect. Number 9. Strathmore. Strathmore sits about 40 minutes east of Calgary. Home prices here are well below the Calgary average, benchmarks around 550,000. It's a small town, but that's the selling point. With remote and hybrid work becoming the norm for many professionals, living 40 minutes from a major city is no longer a deal breaker. It's a strategy. Strathmore gives you Alberta's tax advantage, no provincial sales tax, no land transfer tax, on top of significantly lower housing costs. For buyers doing the math on monthly expenses, Strathmore stretches a paycheck further than almost anywhere in the Calgary corridor. Number 8. High River. High River is about 45 minutes south of Calgary. Benchmarks sit around 590,000. What makes High River interesting is the community feel. It's small enough to know your neighbors, large enough to have proper services, and it's close enough to Calgary and Okotoks that you're not isolated from job markets or amenities. The town took a serious hit during the 2013 floods, but it rebuilt. And the rebuilding brought newer infrastructure and updated building standards. For anyone who wants a quieter Alberta lifestyle without disappearing into a rural area, High River hits a specific sweet spot. Number 7. Lethbridge. Lethbridge has been on affordability lists for years, and for good reason. Home prices are significantly below the provincial average. Cost of living for a single person before rent is around $1,500 a month. And the economy is diversified enough, agriculture, healthcare, education, retail, to keep things stable. But here's what's changed recently. Lethbridge gained over 1,600 residents from interprovincial migration alone in 1 year. That made it the 4th highest gainer in the entire country. For a city of around 110,000 people, that kind of inflow is significant. It's also a warning. Because when migration accelerates into a market with limited supply, and Alberta already has only 2.8 months of inventory, prices follow. Number 6. Cochrane. Cochrane is one of the most picturesque small towns in Alberta. Nestled near the Rocky Mountain foothills, about 20 minutes west of Calgary. Population has been climbing steadily. Home benchmarks sit around 715,000, higher than many cities on this list, but still below Calgary proper. Cochrane attracts a specific type of buyer, Families who want mountain proximity, clean air, and community feel without the full price tag of Canmore or Banff. The trade-off is limited inventory. Cochrane doesn't have the housing supply to absorb major inflows. So when demand spikes, prices move fast. If Cochrane is on your radar, timing matters more here than in larger markets. Number 5. Okotoks. Okotoks is about 20 minutes south of Calgary. Population around 39,000. Homes are selling in roughly 44 days on average. Buyers are paying close to full asking price. And demand heading into 2026 remains strong. Okotoks has built its identity around sustainability and livability. It's one of the only towns in Canada with a water-smart growth strategy, which has kept development controlled and prevented the kind of oversupply you see in some GTA suburbs. That controlled growth is a double-edged sword. It keeps the town attractive, but it also means inventory stays tight. For buyers, that means less room to negotiate, but more confidence that values hold. Number 4. Red Deer. Red Deer sits right between Calgary and Edmonton. That geography alone makes it a magnet for people who want access to both cities without paying either city's prices. Home prices here are well below Calgary and Edmonton averages, and the job market spans agriculture, manufacturing, healthcare, and services. What's worth noting is that Red Deer is increasingly attracting remote workers and young families who don't need to be in a major city every day. The drive to Calgary is about 90 minutes. Edmonton is roughly the same. For anyone who's done the math and decided that commuting twice a week beats paying twice the mortgage, Red Deer makes a lot of sense. Number 3. Airdrie. Airdrie is one of the fastest growing cities in Alberta. Population surged past 112,000 in 2025, up from just over 100,000 the year before. That's a growth rate most Canadian cities can't touch. Airdrie sits just north of Calgary, close enough that many residents commute into the city daily, but far enough that home prices, benchmarks around 644,000, are meaningfully lower than Calgary's. The city has invested heavily in schools, recreation, and transit connections. It doesn't feel like a bedroom community anymore. It feels like a city that happens to be next to a bigger one. For families moving from Ontario or BC, Airdrie offers the space, price point, and lifestyle that made them leave in the first place. Number 2. Edmonton. Edmonton overtook Calgary as the CMA with the highest net interprovincial migration surplus in the most recent data. Over 11,700 people moved to Edmonton from other provinces in a single year. Home prices here are substantially lower than Calgary. A detached home averages around 485,000, townhomes around 294,000, and condos can be found under 200,000. That pricing gap is the story. Edmonton has government jobs, a growing tech sector, major healthcare infrastructure, and the University of Alberta driving research and talent. It's not as polished as Calgary, but for buyers whose primary goal is getting into the market without overextending, Edmonton's numbers are hard to argue with. And number 1, Calgary. No surprise here. Calgary has been the single largest recipient of interprovincial migration in Canada for years. Over 26,000 people moved here from other provinces in 1 year alone. The metro population now exceeds 1.8 million, and it keeps climbing. A detached home in Calgary averages around 764,000. That's roughly 250,000 less than Toronto, and over 1 million less than Vancouver. Alberta has no provincial sales tax, no land transfer tax. Provincial GDP is expected to grow by 2.6% in 2026, making it one of the top-performing economies in the country. The lifestyle, the mountains, the job market, the tax structure. Calgary checks more boxes than almost any city in Canada right now. But here's the catch. Alberta's housing market is one of the tightest in the country, under 3 months of supply. And all this migration is putting pressure on prices that were once the province's biggest selling point. Calgary is still more affordable than Toronto or Vancouver, but the gap is narrowing. And the people moving here today are the ones locking in before it narrows further. So that's the Alberta picture in 2026. Everyone talks about how expensive Canada has become. But inside Alberta, from Fort Saskatchewan to Calgary, there's still a path to ownership that works on a normal income. The question is how long that lasts. Are you in Alberta already, or thinking about moving? Drop your city in the comments.